What up, everybody? It's Schweezel here with Get Better Games. I'm about to take you guys into a game that I actually just had. Um, if you watched one of my latest videos was up, just a little kind of short patch note video. Um, Even just in the comments was the TLDR of those patch notes. Uh, da, da, da. This game is really going to highlight sort of some of the things I talked about in that, like the light ammo guns, like guns with really high rate of fire, like this minigun I'm gonna pick up right here, actually got a really huge buff. This minigun, and then double shotgunning, in my opinion, got a little bit more necessary, especially through like the early and mid game, just because you can't one shot people with shotguns anymore. And if you're gonna have, if you're like right now, I'm carrying that minigun, you want to have that double shotgun. So I don't know what's up with this guy, but he just runs straight by me. This is like a strange fight. Like, this dude thinks this is PUBG or H1 or something. He runs like down the hallway so that he can try to abuse his advantage, but I still have the right hand, and he's just like standing out in the open. So I just grab all of his stuff. I think right here I start to hear the other players in this POI fighting, and I want to abuse the fact that they're just fighting and not paying attention. Yeah, so here that comes. So I'm gonna bust out of this building as quick as I can and go try to grab some of these kills while these guys are just fighting, especially because, I mean, with this legendary minigun this early in the game, I'm pretty sure I had a decent amount of ammo for it at this point too, like 150 ammo or something. I'm like super confident with it. I see that this guy downed somebody in the kill feed, but I can hear him right here, so it's whatever. And I got the double shotty. I missed that first shot, but I clean him up pretty easy. Pick up the scar, and this is why it's sort of important. If you're gonna land at one of these POIs with a lot of people, it's important to get your kills in early and while people are unaware, because like that shield could have been used. I could have had a lot less ammo for that scar. Somebody could have ran away from the POI with that scar. So yeah, it's a really great thing. I guess I accidentally rotated my ramps. I was like, what? But yeah, you wanna get those early fights and stuff, and I can hear that somebody's outside of me right here. And I actually I'm right now, I'm moving. I see this guy. I'm like, what's this guy doing? He's just crouching. If somebody's just walking out crouching like that, looking straight at you while you know, like, while they know that you might be able to see them, they're just not paying attention. All right, and this is what I'm talking about with the minigun. This is so early in the game. This guy hasn't had a chance to get materials. I literally just shoot at him with the minigun until I know he's out of materials. How do I know? He literally went from just spamming materials to wood to brick to metal to running away. So I pick up that guy. This dude starts shooting at me. I start doing the same kind of spam down thing to him until I know that I have him softened up. Now, I use that term softened up. I got a couple of pokes in on him, and that's why I switched to being okay with the shotgun, because now, after this buff, we know the shotgun's not going to be a one-shot kill, but if I weaken the guy a little bit, or if I know if you get that audio cue that you've popped the enemy shield, you have an indicator that it could maybe be a one-hit kill. So anyway, I think I just got, did I just get shot at again right there? Maybe not. Maybe I'm just tweaking out. Anyway, I'm grabbing all this stuff. I'm just healing back up. This is another reason it's important to get at all that loot early and get those early kills, is because, like, what if all those guys had their separate fights and I wasn't able to get all these shields and health packs and like stuff that I've been picking up? Or what if somebody ran away with like that scar or something like that? So right now though, I'm carrying a scar and two shotguns, a minigun, and medical supplies, and that'll be my loadout here for the rest of the game, just so you guys know. The reason being, if you have a minigun loaded up with light ammo, and they increased light ammo spawn by about 20 to 25%, I forget exactly what the number was. in the last patch, but they increased the instances of it spawning on the map, and they also increased the amount that spawns in the stack. So they actually effectively increased it a lot. And what this means is that minigun, not only is each bullet going to be stronger because of that patch change, but you're going to be able to find more of these strong bullets. And I'm pretty sure at this point I already have like hundreds of them. I have like 300, 400 after coming out of Greasy. And you can pretty much just use that instead of explosives. You can just spam people down. They will not be able to build if you are just spamming them down, no matter how good at building they are. And I will show you examples of this throughout this match. So let's just go ahead and take a look at sort of what I would like to call almost the aggression counter, like just looking at the scoreboard right now. So I got the highest amount of elims. I think the other guy is probably also in another large POI, but what you guys will notice here is I'm starting to run it. I'm seriously just looking for people at this point. I have 200 HP. I have two big potion shields. I'm looking for I'm looking for fights because my loot pretty much can't get any better. I'm just looking to harvest materials safely and get in safe fights so that I can like harvest ammo. And really, at this point, you want to hunt the hunters, is what I'm trying to do. I want to get across the um, what do you call it, the river right here, so that I can get at these guys. But not only these guys, Salty Springs is right across the bridge right here. So I want to start getting at those other relatively big points of interest and destroying who is there. Because if you're taking out the guys that are getting all the kills, then at the end of the game, it's just going to be sort of like scrubs, which is sort of what you guys are going to see here. But yeah, if you guys are fighting someone, let's say, and there's one guy that's clearly better, if you guys are fighting like two people or you see a fight going on that you're going to interrupt, shoot at the guy that is clearly better. You're going to have an easier time. Like, it's a mix between who's better and who has the better positioning. If someone's on the ground but they're obviously like 10 times better at the game, um I would shoot at them. Otherwise, I would go for the forwarded up person. So I knew that I saw that guy come over here, and I'm like, is he really sitting up there? I just start spamming him down. I realize that he has a sniper and he's backing off, so I'm just gonna charge. I have double shotgun. I have this minigun. I'm just gonna charge, and at this point, I've built to such an angle he can't see my first tile that I didn't protect. So I'm in here with him, and he barely even realizes it by the time I get there. And I just grab all his. This guy had a lot of awesome stuff for me. But so you guys also saw right there as I was building up, they made building weaker against spamming medium and light ammo. So now what you have to do is protect your build more. I actually look up here, I think, in a minute to see what piece that guy was shooting at and like how much damage he ended up doing. And it's pretty necessary to either double ramp or protect your single ramp, in my opinion, if you're going to do a single ramp. And I just singled, and that guy just, because of the angle I took, he didn't have the time. He did not have the time to spam me down. And that's why I have kept this minigun for this long instead of getting a sniper or something. I'm using my scar for the close range. I'm getting pushed a lot and I'm doing a lot of pushing, so I'm keeping the double shotguns. Yeah, see, I look up here and I'm like, wow, this guy only hit like one of my tiles. Like, that was crazy. That he hit like one of my tiles, and I think he hit out the floor. But by the time he had hit out the floor, I was already standing right next to him, and I had already known that, so it didn't matter. Like, as long as I was close enough to the hill to where if he knocked the floor from under me, I could put a floor under me and not die, and like connecting it to the hill, that it's fine. I don't care. And that's exactly what was happening there. He didn't realize that. So that wasn't exactly a bad player, but you had to understand, you had to kind of quickly analyze in these fights how your opponent's building and why. That's really what I'm trying to get at. Is what, like, you sort of had to be able to read intention. I knew that guy's intention was to play very passive just because of how I had seen him. He had barely moved. He had watched me until I got really close to him. After I spammed him, he backed way off really hard. And then so like he because of reading those clues, I knew how I could play against him, and I knew I wasn't going to get messed up for that. So I can see looking at these two big bases, not necessarily big bases, but tall bases out in Fatal Fields, that there's probably a fight going on over here. I can't hear it yet. I don't have my view distance up super high, but I can tell that there's probably a fight going on over here. So I'm going to run over here, especially because I have this minigun. I'm going to be able to shred both these guys to the ground in seconds. And as I come over here, I actually kind of realize that the bottom half is going to get pushed in anyway. And if these guys are still fighting, that's why they're going to be fighting, is because one of them is trying to get into the circle. The other guys are just gatekeeping and not letting him get there. I'm about to exploit that. If you guys are gonna gatekeep the circle, you got to keep an eye out for dudes like me that are about to do what I would call refereeing, which is where you're just gonna come into a fight that's already going on and clean up, just because of the confusion that's happening. So I'm approaching this. I want to kind of read this situation and wait until I hear them. I take the low ground just because if they have to run over here, I want to be able to see them. So I start seeing over here to my right, this Hoffer guy that's up in the big base to the right is building fresh builds, and I notice in seeing that he's building, I'm like, why is he building that? He's building that because someone is still camping this, and he can't just run across that field, and that's exactly what's going on. He actually gets a decent shot off on this dude, and I notice that this guy is not he's just not playing it very safe, and then this other guy doesn't see me. I see this guy back off, and I just boom, start hitting him with the double shotties. He was honestly just too slow of a player. This guy does not have the correct angle on me to really push me very well, and he also has the storm coming in, so I start playing that to my advantage. I soften him up. I see that he's not reinforcing his builds in accordance with how fast I'm knocking him down, so I start spamming him with the minigun. You guys, I see that I have cover up to my left and right. I spend probably a few hundred bullets of this minigun just trying to spam this guy out, and I get him right here, and he oh my god, that was so funny. And what's great after this, I looked at how many bullets I had for my minigun. I still had 700 bullets. Unreal. So at this point, what do we say about hunting the hunters? I have 7 elims, and the next highest person has 4. And everybody else is basically just playing it like super safe, a little bit campy, it seems like. So right now, it's top 10, and there's pretty much one other person that has a chance to win this game. Like, I know that just because of where I've gone during this game and the strength of the players that I've taken out and the fact that I took out so many people really early, that I took out a lot of the aggressive, um, just like, I don't even know how you would say it, like fight, just acquire dominance players. Just those guys that are out there asserting themselves and really taking all these aggressive fights. So realizing that, I just start taking the high ground in the middle of these closing circles, like, or as close as I can to that. Reason being is if everyone else left is playing like really safe and everything, and I just go do this, they're all gonna end up coming to me, which actually is kind of what ends up happening here. So I'm gonna fast forward just a little bit. I'm coming up here. I see these chests, and I guess someone sees me as I'm opening up these chests, and I see them come around this truck right here. I'm like, oh crap. I don't want to switch and give them the switch and wind up time of my minigun. So I just hit them with the AR as they come close and then get them with the shotguns. I knew they were close enough to dead where I'd probably kill them with the spam right there, and boom. I take a look at the weapons on the ground. I just noticed that what I have has really been working for me this game, so I'm gonna try to just focus on taking the materials, taking the ammunition, and just looting up, playing safe right here, and probably keeping my same thing. Let's see, was that the only that that was not the only other aggressive player. The other aggressive player, 1, 2, 3. Actually, no, it wasn't. Where is he though? don't even see him. I'm looking for him on my map now, and I don't see him. That's really weird. Okay, anyway. I spend a lot of time here looking, as you sort of do, when the count or when the circles start like getting in and the count of players starts getting down. This is a pretty big circle for 5 people, especially when like all these players have been playing like as campy as they are or whatever. So I'm really trying to keep this height, make sure I looted everything here. And then I see this guy down here. He knows that I see him when he runs up right there. So I do, I just start pushing. Again, I don't want to give him the satisfaction of, or like the time of switching to the minigun. So I really just try to get like the underneath angles that he's not protecting here, which he actually allows me to get twice. If I got hit from underneath like he did, I would have been protecting every angle of attack when I was building like that. That wasn't like super smart or whatever. So at this point, the one other guy is actually still in here. But you know, I know coming into this that that's probably the case. There's probably one other good guy in here. That's what usually happens when there's 3 people left in the game, right? There's one other guy who's playing. There's one guy who's playing really aggressive. There's you, and there's one guy who's playing like really passive. That's just my feeling on it. That's just kind of how this thing tends to happen, in my opinion. So I build up to here. Oops, sorry about that. I'll go ahead and rewind. So I go ahead and build up to here. I make a little bit of a mistake there, but cover it up. The reason I put those flat floors there is to deny anyone who might try to come up after me. This guy's already up here, and this is the one player I'm worried about, so at this point I'm nervous. Because he's out building me, and he has a heavy shotgun from what I can hear. Now, I'm pretty sure that he's weaker than me, and from me giving, he has the height advantage, and he's not using meds here, so I don't think he has meds. I start setting up a play to maybe drop him into a trap, but he's actually a little bit too smart for that, as you'll sort of see coming up. So I start hitting him with the minigun just like everybody else. It's a lot less effective like this when somebody knows what you're trying to do, but it's still effective in that he can't just get up above me. Once he's at this point right here, he absolutely can't get up above me. So I just start, I know where he's at this point. He has to be right there in the tile behind it. So I start building up now. I hear the guy outside to my, so I'm paying attention here. I start dropping back in and laying traps for this guy so that he is going to have less options for where to move. He's going to have to move very carefully here, and I also have more options in like knocking him down and stuff like that. It is also just a precautionary thing in that I know there's a third passive player watching. I don't want him to just come in here and clean this up. So I see this guy again. I start hitting him with the minigun again. This just really highlighting to you guys the how absolutely ridiculous the minigun is. That I'm not running out of ammo during any of this. Like, I'm not even close to running out of ammo. I end this game with hundreds and hundreds of gun rounds. Now, this guy messes up, and I know he's really weak, and I remember that I have a jump pad, and this circle is getting really small. We're up a lot higher than this other guy who hasn't been building, so I use that jump pad to get the height on him. Unfortunately, I tag him once, but he gets it again, and then he tags me. So, and take notes here. In order to really make this a safe fight for me, I build my way back in on the bottom. I retreat my way back to being near my trap. I throw down a campfire and use those 2 shields that I've had in my back pocket the whole time. So this guy, I've been whittling him down, and he's a really good player, you guys. I've been whittling this guy down, and he doesn't have those meds. I'm just taking advantage of the fact he doesn't have those meds. So I know he drops down in some way, so I try to take advantage of that here because I know he's not going to be up that high. I hear that he's just right here. He was a layer below. I end up thinking that he was above where he was, but whatever. This starts pushing me out, but I take advantage of it. I recently changed my hotkeys, so I accidentally switched to the wrong thing there. But I take my own jump pad. That's exactly the reason I laid it where I did, over to there. so that I could use it like a second time or third time if I needed to. Um, I wanted to just be able to use it to take the height back. I know that this guy is probably coming from back by where we just were because I heard him messing around out there. He was trying to just clean up. So I start building knowing that he can't be anywhere super like hidden. He's not building, so he doesn't have a good defensive position here. I decided to just build straight up. This guy's obviously not a very good player. I'm just building straight up because I know he's probably trying to take some sneaky angle on me, and look at him. He's right below me. And he ends up moving, and that's actually what gives him away here is now I'm gonna fast forward so you guys can see my process of elimination here. But I just start bush checking. I start shredding down trees because I know the only other option for him is to basically be right below me. And he's not confident enough in his shooting to have interrupted the fight that was going on before. So why would he interrupt me looking for him now? I drop down here and I'm going to jump back just a second. So I hear the footsteps and I'm like, he's right below me. Okay. So I look at what's below me and I'm like, where could he be? Is he right there? No. I'm going to just take that down so he doesn't have, he literally has nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. He has to be, he just has to be right there. And he actually moves again when I put this down, so I know exactly where he is. Because I look right there. He's not in the second layer. I actually missed the first shot, but whatever. I double pump him after that. Grab the W. Bam, I ended up putting up 11 elims there without grabbing a single new gun after I left my original POI. No explosives used, no snipers used, just denying people the ability to build with a minigun and defending ourselves and or rushing with the double pump. I hope you guys have learned something about sort of the meta that this game is headed towards, because this is some really useful information. People in this game are not paying attention to things like this right now, and these changes are really big, really impactful, and if you exploit them, you will be going big time in your games for sure. I promise you. I've been Schweezel for Get Better Games. Go get those W's, everybody, and have a great day. Until next time, peace out.